President Biden failed to get his request for more money for Ukraine passed by Congress before it adjourned until next year. The White House had thought it was being strategic in bundling funding for an increasingly unpopular war in Ukraine with money for Israel, Taiwan, and border security. But it was the Republicans who sensed a strategic opening. Realizing how important funding for Kyiv is to the president, Congressional Republicans have held firm with remarkable unity. There will be no additional funding for Ukraine without tough new immigration policy. From those who say enough unconditional money has been spent on a failed military operation in Ukraine,
the Biden administration seems to be asking for is billions of additional dollars with no appropriate oversight, no clear strategy to win.
To hawks who argue the goal isn't necessarily a victory for Ukraine, but to stand up for what they call democracy and bleed Russia dry in the process.
We're not losing track of that. It's just that border security applies to us as well.
It didn't even seem to matter that aid to Israel was also being jeopardized, although the Biden administration has already demonstrated it will bypass Congress to get Israel whatever it says it needs anyway. The Republican strategy worked. The White House now says that in return for the money for Ukraine, it is open to increasing immigrant deportations and reducing their ability to claim asylum. This has infuriated some in the Democratic Party.
What is on the table are policies so extreme that if enacted, it would literally be the most exclusionary, restrictive immigration legislation since the racial quota laws of the 1920s.
But the White House goes into the election year betting that however rightward the administration pivots, in the end the base will rally around Joe Biden due to their fear of Donald Trump.
The base is going to have to decide ultimately in 2024. They're going to have a choice between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. And the question is, whom are they going to be able to support? And there are going to be some things that President Biden did that they really like a lot, and there are going to be some things that they like less.
In the end, there wasn't enough time for a deal on border restrictions. So Joe Biden ends the year having enraged the Democratic Party base even further with his capitulation to the right wing on immigration and having failed to secure any more funding for a war in Ukraine with which he has so closely aligned himself. Shihab, Rattansi, Al Jazeera, Washington.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera. Click on the